podcast, Learning Curves and Coffee, where we skip the perfection, spill the real, and talk parenting, teaching, and personal growth over a hot cup. I'm Ivory, a mother, entrepreneur, and your caffeinated co pilot through the meltdowns, meetings, and magical moments. Let's get into it. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are listening. Thank you for tuning in. Per usual, I appreciate y'all. I hope you all are taking care of yourself. I've been thinking about this week, this idea of bouncing back from rough weeks, rough days, but rough weeks especially. Some weeks just don't go well. Nothing catastrophic, nothing life changing, but things just feel off some weeks. Maybe you are overly tired, more tired than normal. Maybe you're short with your kids. Maybe you forgot some things. You dropped a ball or two or three. I certainly have been there where on Friday you're sitting there thinking, what a week, right? And so today I want to talk about something that we don't, in my opinion, normalize enough, and that's how to bounce back after a rough week. Because the goal is never to not have hard weeks. That will happen, and the inevitable will happen, the unexpected will happen. The goal is to not stay stuck there, right? I've had plenty of those weeks where everything felt heavier than usual. Work felt overwhelming. Parenting felt harder. Behind on deadlines. Khalil's been resistant to things. Morning schedule is off. The things that I'm usually on top of, I have not gotten done. And the worst part is there's this quiet voice that creeps in your head where you're like, throughout the week when things are just not going right, you should be doing things better. You know better. Get it together. Like, trust me, though that quiet voice is a beast. Like, I know I'm working on that. I'm hyper aware now of it. And so I try to stop myself before I go in this rabbit hole of self criticizing. But she is my greatest critic. That girl in my head that's like, girl, get it together. And it's like, no, you have it together, or you don't have to have it together, and it's fine. But this isn't failure. This is fatigue, perhaps. And there's a difference, and so I want to talk about that for a little bit. Chronic stress impacts decision making, emotional regulation, and memory. And we think about chronic stress, we're thinking about reoccurring difficulty happening without you being able to recover from it. So, one complicated or difficult experience has happened, and then another happens within the 24-hour or to 48-hour time frame, and you haven't been able to bounce back from the other, right? Or in a week time frame, whatever that looks like for you. These things impact your emotional regulation and impacts your memory and impacts your ability to engage with your family and your child meaningfully. When you're overwhelmed, your brain literally has less capacity to function at its best. Like, literally, it shuts down. So, that off week that I was just discussing is not just in your head. Your nervous system is probably responding to real pressure, the things that you're not verbalizing, but your body is keeping the score of. And the solution is not more pressure, it's not getting it together, it's recovery. I know we feel the need to like do fix and do more, and we think doing more is going to make it better, but actually doing less will help you to recuperate and bounce back stronger. So pause and ask yourself, what made this week hard? Was it overcommitment? Was it emotional stress? Was it lack of rest? Was it an unexpected challenge? Get really honest with yourself without judgment, because once you identify the cause, you can start to identify the remedy. Second, here's the part that we probably don't like, that you are going to have to accept that rough weeks are a part of having a full life. Oftentimes the roughness comes from the responsibilities and the lifestyle that we've chosen, right? And so you are parenting, you are working, you are showing up for folks. Hopefully you're showing up for yourself. And sometimes those things get messy. It doesn't mean you're off track. It means you're human, and it's just an indicator to recalibrate and perhaps or deprioritize. And then, as I mentioned before, the recovery piece. This is essential. It's important to go into recovery mode as consistent as possible. So no punishment, no overcorrection of yourself. Simply recovery, because you don't need to fix anything about yourself. You just need to reset. Okay. I remember a therapist told me that once. I came out, I was like, I just feel like I need to fix this about myself. And she was like, you're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. And that still stuck with me. So I want to share it with you. Maybe you need to reset or rest. So, in terms of the reset piece, make it a gentle reset, not a full life overhaul. A simple ask: what's one thing I can reset this week? Is it my schedule? Do I need to go to bed earlier? Do I need to wake up earlier? Do I need to shut down my electronics and take my phone out of my room before I go to bed? That's me. I'm talking to myself. Is there a mindset shift that I need to have? Right? Am I looking at a particular thing in the wrong way? Do I need to change my perception about something? Start small. Second, redefine your expectations for how your weeks should look, and maybe do that temporarily. Everything doesn't have to be perfect all the time. Focus on what must get done in this moment, in this day, in this week. What can wait, and what can, quite frankly, be released. Also, don't forget to reconnect with your child, because, or children if you have multiple, because oftentimes we have our off weeks, we shut down and we don't want to be bothered. Maybe I'm just speaking about myself. But if the week felt disconnected for you, imagine how your child may be feeling, because they feel how our energy as well. So repair that. A conversation, check in with your child. If you're feeling anxious about how the week is going, how are you feeling? How's the week going for you? Give your child a hug. 5 minutes of undistracted attention and playtime with your child. Not only it will help regulate them, but oftentimes you'll find that it helps to regulate you. I talked about before on the podcast that 5 minutes of undistracted time with your child a day goes a long way. And so that connection restores both of you all's energy, right? Also, give yourself a clean slate. Stop replaying what could have been done differently. Look back, do an assessment, make a different decision, and move on. You don't need to carry it into the next week. New week, new energy, new ways of moving. And then lastly, take one moment in your day that is just yours. I say this often, and I talk to a lot of parents who often say how difficult that is for them. But even if it's just 5 minutes for yourself, like a cup of coffee in silence, a short walk, music in your car that helps you up, those small moments rebuild your capacity. So here's what I've learned: you don't bounce back from being harder on yourself. You bounce back by being more supportive of yourself. Give yourself grace the same way you give your child grace. You deserve that too. So if you had that rough week, take a breath. reset and remind yourself you are not behind, you are recovering, and that counts. So, until next time, always, always, always take care of yourself first. Bye. This is Learning Curves and Coffee.